then proper placement with the correct amount of students in the classroom. So we're addressing that at the same time. We are also anticipating there are some new teachers having to come on because teachers that were previously approved did not accept positions, or there might be some new developments in personnel.
Through the chair, there are people on the agenda tonight, should the board pass it, where there will be some sort of disciplinary action taken at the high school and other school. So obviously there will be new replacement for those while that is investigated. Lewis Richmond?
And all our campuses are open to all children.
Sorry. Lewis Richmond?
Lewis Richmond, case for Lakewood. I know I've come to a number of meetings in the past, and our superintendent has told us that we have 6 failing schools. I know steps are being taken each year to correct some of these problems, and I know one of them, and speaking with Dr. McCorby, because there was no meeting last week, a number of parents and students got to speak with her, that I think we identified there was an issue with those composition books and also with the binders. Now, has anything been done to address this issue? And my also concern is that as maybe as an incentive to those students, especially the juniors and seniors, who have been for their entire career on the honor roll or high honor roll, be exempt from having to use these binders, because I think they knew what they're doing. I'm also concerned that as it gets full, it's potential for back injuries, but my son carries it in a backpack, and it gets pretty heavy. At the same time, like, Mr. Thomas, you have a child in high school. What is your opinion of it?
I'll answer the last question. As a parent, my sons come home every day. They don't like half of the things. They don't want the uniforms. They don't want the binders. They don't want, you name it. But, they don't run the show. So it is what it is in my house. But I do have to say that my 13-year-old is not faring very well because papers, it's worried, because we already knew he had an issue, so we bought him a big notebook with a zipper on it, so he doesn't lose anything. And the binder for him is a huge challenge. But if that's what the rules are, you need to get your binder together, and it needs to be neat and in order. And so I am, they're trying to create some order. So as far as their backs, they'll be all right.
Jerome Robinson?
Oh, she had an answer.
We spoke after the last meeting, and I did go into the high school and speak with our staff developers and our coaches regarding the use of the binders and the writing to learn notebooks, and to clarify the use of them and the rotation of information. During professional development yesterday, we have a 2-hour in-service. Part of the in-service was on one of the strategies, which is writing to learn and the use of the binders and the notebooks. So it is not perfect, but we are working towards perfection.
I see no other questions on this point. Jerome Robinson.
Good evening. Jerome Robinson, 1538 Medina Drive. I just have one question. It's about an online system where teachers are able to post homework assignments, grade, quizzes, and things of that nature that most other school districts have in place. And here in Lakewood, it's still not in place. I'm not sure the reason why that system is not in place now, but most other school districts have that, and it's been in place for a number of years. And from my understanding, the outcomes from that system have been very rewarding from what I understand. And so I'd just like to know why that system is not in place, and if not, when is the expected date for the system to be in place so that parents could have access to an online system where they'll have something where they can go in and check on a daily basis homework assignments, grades, test scores, attendance, and many other mechanisms that I'm not mentioning because it's a very broad system. From what I understand, the system is very effective as far as the outcome. So that's the only question that I have, and hoping to get a response to Lakewood why that hasn't been in place. And that system goes maybe from, I'm not sure, some systems going maybe from 3rd grade all the way to high school. So I just doubt that's the question that I have.
I'll answer that. We have a system in place called Real Time, which we use for attendance point report cards at the high school. It has the potential to do everything that you're saying, and we're investigating that. Part of the problem is the infrastructure, that we're unable to actually have the teachers work on the system without it crashing. So that's part of the problem. The second way we're investigating it is our web page. We know our web page is not user-friendly. We have a new director of technology. We're going to pull the web page in-house and allow teachers to have their own web page links off our web page, which will allow that to be done not as a structured way, but for allowing the teachers to do it until we can get more structure with real time in the infrastructure. So that is on our agenda. It's what we're working on right now is the wiring that you don't see, but eventually the outcomes you will reap the benefits of sooner than later, hopefully.
Thank you.
There are no more people on the public listed on the agenda this evening, or on the signature page.
Okay. Correspondence and communications.
Mr. President, it's just something that I think would be appropriate. If I could just, 1 second to interject, if you would allow it.
I don't have the authority of my own
If the board would allow it, the only
to
thing
allow
that-
it, and it would have to be.
I think it would be apropos. Only take a second if you guys would be so inclined.
Yeah.
You know it's not damaging.
Well, you have to have a vote.
All
Make
in
a
favor?
motion to allow that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Well, I can do it from right here. I just want you guys to,
Fred Rush.
oh, I'm sorry, Fred Rush. If you would just take a moment of silence for the miners in Chile. I think the first one is getting ready to come up right now as we speak. So if you guys would be so inclined to just pause for a second.
Thank you.
I said coming up. I didn't say to cease.
I'm going to pray, but I'm going to
Don't
Moment of
listen to
silence.
him.
You understand what I mean?
We did.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing no more members of the public, we are now, Mr. President, I turn it over to you.
All right, under correspondence and communication, I have a letter here, several letters from, I don't know if anyone here attended the football game when we played against Homedale, and there were some issues that occurred during that game that were not real favorable towards the Lakewood fans and or players. And the Homedale athletic director, the Homedale football coach, the entire team have rendered an apology for their behavior on that night, and have put into place some mechanisms to truly deal with any behavior. You know, there was some unseemly music and some unseemly behavior, and it has been addressed, and we have a signed response with every single team player's signature on it. And we got multiple letters truly stating that it will never happen again. And just so you know, it was amazing to see, you know, a lot of times we're involved in things Lakewood and we're not sure how we're taken. But there were athletic directors and people from other communities that were even more appalled than there were people from Lakewood that this had happened to us and that we were treated in this way. And the athletic director's department, Mr. John Craddock, vehemently sought after apologies and did in fact give them. And I think it is a testament, because I just want to let everyone know that I don't know how many years in a row, but we continuously win sportsmanship awards whenever we're involved in athletics, whether we have 0 wins or not. Our children go, they play, and some of them are subjected to some behavior and some discussions that you would not even imagine. And they have been always able to hold their composure, and we have gotten a sportsmanship award, I think, the last 2 years in a row. And that is a testament to Lakewood, and I just want to put that into the record, because there were people at that game that don't know what the outcome of that was, and it was dealt with, and they did respond. So that's one thing, and that's really the only thing that I have to do.
Through the chair, we are still waiting for the LEA. If the LEA representative can relay this to their office. We were supposed to get information after our last negotiation session. If you were there, you were. Documentation both from Ms. Cousins and Ms. Bosky. We have yet to get it. That was in September. If you could get that to us. Thank you. Thank you. You were at that meeting?
Yes, I was. I know that it happened.
Okay. Thank you.
And my last correspondence and communication, I got one more. The last 4 football games, the band has been doing wonderfully. They have been performing and supporting the team and playing well. And